All right, guys, welcome back to Crossman Productions. Um, One of the things that I really like about doing this show is, we've got to sit down and meet, a ton of people, and just the friendship that I've been able to gain with a lot of the people that's been on the show. It's just invaluable. Just be able to reach out and talk to all my guests, and it's just some of my guests is just um, I guess stick more than others. I mean, there's guests that I have on that we just create like a bond. So I love bringing these guys back on and catching up on what they're doing, keeping as they have new projects and things that they're working on. So I love to bring them in and just catch up. So one of those guys is my buddy, James Stokes. Really, really good guy. I mean, just from when we met him, whenever we had the whole group from Voorhees in, and then we brought him on his own and we talked. Just really cool guy. So I wanted to bring him back. I know he's been doing a lot of, different things, some new movies. He's been going to Comic-Con. There's a lot I want to talk to him about. So I'm going to bring him in. What's up, brother?
Hey, Parks. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for being on the show again, man.
Absolutely. I was ecstatic when you contacted me and said you wanted me back on. I appreciate that, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. I love when you guys come on because you guys are so busy and you guys have been doing, a lot of different things. And I like following you guys and having you guys share, all the stuff that you guys are doing.
Absolutely, man. And again, I want to thank you for allowing us to come on and do this, because this is a platform that we get to use that gets our work out there, and people that want to know about our work can watch, and it's just your podcast, all of y'all's podcasts, the guys that do the podcast. I just really think from the bottom of my heart that y'all allow us to come on and do what we do. I love that, man. I appreciate it.
Cool. Well, thank you. So, I was saying you've been pretty busy. So
I've been rather busy with the cons and stuff like that. And thankfully I have those cons, right. With the strike and everything going on, everything is just up in the air and about, what's going to happen and right. when it's going to happen again. And that's just a little nerve wracking in this business, but it's nerve wracking anyway. This is a hit and miss kind of business anyway.
Right. So, we'll touch on that too, because I want to get some of your, feedback on that, the whole situation with the writer and the actor strike. And I mean, there's so many layers to that thing of what's going on. So anyways, so let's start. One of the things I want to ask you is, because you've been doing a lot of the Comic-Cons, what is that like? I mean, you're going in, you get to meet all these fans, you're going as Jason. What is that? What's that like?
For me, it's the ultimate. It's better than getting a paycheck. I'll tell you that, because when these fans come up to your table and they know who you are and they want an autograph from you, it's very humbling to me for someone to come up and know who I am and want a picture signed by me as the character of Jason. I mean, this character that I've gotten to play has really changed my life. And I'm talking about it in not just ways of being an actor, but of being a good man and being humble and seeing kids that love the horror genre. And I want to thank the parents for allowing like these kids to come to these things so they can see the actual actor who's playing it, to where they know that this stuff is not real. I've always said that the real monsters are not in your closet. The real monsters are out here in the street and out here in everyday life. They're not on the TV screen. They're not. You can get scared, jump scares and all that stuff, but that's not the real monsters. The real monsters is this everyday life that we live in. And parents have a hard enough time trying to teach their kids to be good human beings without having to worry about a horror film And, you
Right.
know, and there are the people out there that thinks horror is just the devil's work and all that stuff. And I really hate that for them, because it's really not. You got some really
Right.
good people, really good moral people that are playing in these horror films. And I just wish people would come to realize that a little bit more. And coming
Right.
to these horror cons are a good way to do that, because you get to actually meet the actor and find out a little bit more about them. You know,
Right.
that's another reason I love these podcasts. People can listen to these podcasts and find out a little bit about who James Stokes is, and not just the actor, but who I am as a person.
Right.
So that's another reason I really thank you for having us actors and musicians or whatever on, is to
Right.
let people understand what we do besides just being on screen in front of the camera.
Right. And they get to see you as an actual person. And
Yeah.
you know, and what I like to bring, you know, what I like about bringing you guys on is, you know, you share your whole journey. So it's not just about, you know, we don't just talk about the shows and stuff you guys do. We talk about how you got there, you know, what your life was like growing up, you know. So you get to really get some in-depth, you know, knowledge of the guests that come on.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and you know, being an actor is hard enough. You know,
Right.
when you have to deal with everything else in life, that just makes it even tougher. So getting back to your question about the cons, it's one of the most satisfying, rewarding things that I've ever done in my life, when you get to meet the fans and get to meet, and it's not just fans of Jason Voorhees, it's fans of horror, it's fans of Comic-Con, right. It's fans of Batman, it's fans of Spider-Man, you know, all genres. So it's really a cool thing to be able to sit there and just introduce yourself to every human being that walks by, and you never know who you're going to meet and what kind of impact they're going to have on your life, or what kind of impact you're going to have on their life. So
Right.
that's the reason I always tell everybody. And I've seen actors that have dismissed people, didn't want to talk, didn't want to interact. And I hate that. I hate that for the fans. I hate that for the actor, because they're missing out on so much. They're missing out on so many life lessons, I guess you would say, that can change someone's life. And I've found that out over the last couple of cons and personal appearances that I've had in these small towns, like in Waynesboro, Tennessee, and Adamsville, Tennessee, and going to Arkansas, to these different cons and stuff. And it's like, some of these people, this is the only time they're going to get to actually meet the actors and stuff that play in these characters. So why not give them the best experience that you possibly can give if you're going to be there? They're there for you. You know, that's the whole thing. And that's the reason it's so humbling to me, is because they're there to see me and to meet me. And that really means a lot to me.
Yeah, they're taking their time, you know, the time out of their day specifically to go see. Yeah. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. You know, and what is one of the things you guys might not know about James that we kind of talked about in the last time he was on is, you know, that you go to schools and talk to kids at the school, you know.
The middle school age primarily. I've found that the middle school age is when you start to really come into yourself and start picking the friends that you're going to really hang around with for the rest of your high school career. So if you can choose, and you're not going to change everybody's life, but if I could change the life of just a couple of kids on every school that I go to, it makes a difference to me, because I want to tell them my story. And I did. And you know, it's not a self gratification thing that I'm doing here, because I did choose the right people to hang around with. I got lucky. And I'm going to say that because I did get lucky. But when I was back in middle school and high school, it was a different time and different place then.
Right.
The world wasn't what it is now. Kids have to go to school now worrying about getting shot or getting something happen. And that's terrifying and disheartening and pisses you off and everything else, because no kid should have to worry about going to school, worrying about if they're going to come home. No parent should have to worry about sending their kids to school these days and worrying about if they're going to come home. That pisses me off. And it hurts me. And that's the reason I want to go and tell these kids there's a chance right now.
Right.
You are at the age right now. You pick your friends. If that friend does something that you know is wrong, then don't go with them. Be the bigger and stronger person. You be a leader. Don't be a follower. And that's my biggest thing, is always be a leader, no matter what you do. And you know what? If you're leading one person and that's yourself, then you be that leader for yourself. Do not follow in anybody's footsteps and let anybody take you somewhere that you don't want to be in life. And that's the whole thing. That's the reason I do it. It's because I see the looks on kids' faces. I see the want to learn and the want to do the right thing. It's just they're being led the wrong way. Yeah. And that's and it's sad, but it's just, it happens every day.
Man. You know, whenever you talk to them about, you know, like especially like about the bullying, what kind of is your message when you talk to them?
Well, I want to tell them consequences. You know, I've been a parent. I was in the fire department. I was EMT. I did all this stuff. I've been around the police department. I've done all of this stuff. I've seen the consequences of what it takes when you're bullying somebody.
Right.
The hard truth sometimes is scary. And you know what? Sometimes kids need to hear the scary and the hard truth about things.
Right.
So they need to know, you bully someone, it not only changes their life, it's going to eventually change yours. Yes, you're going to get away with it for a little while. You're going to succeed in making someone feel miserable and feel like nothing. But I'm telling you, it's going to come back to you, and it's going to hurt you way more than it hurts them. And so it's just hard truths is what it is. And so when you're telling them this hard truths and you see it in their face, oh, I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. And you got to tell them. It could end up in jail time. You could end up hurting someone. You could end up hurting someone to the point where they kill themselves. And that is the reality of bullying. It happens all the time. You hear it all the time. Kids leaving notes on computers and at home saying that they're not worth living anymore, and they kill themselves because they've been bullied. That has to stop. And if I can go to 5 schools a year, 10 schools a year, and I can save one kid out of each school, then I'm doing something halfway decent, I feel. So that's the reason I like going to schools and talking to these kids, because, you know, and I use my Jason mask to do it. You know, the way I found out that if you go to a school and I'm in a suit and tie, I look like any other teacher. I look like a principal or whatever. If I go in something like this and my mask on and all that, they shut up and listen, because they want to know, you know, some of them never seen Jason because some of them hasn't seen horror film. They want to know what that is. And then I tell them my story, because I do have a story to tell. And I do like telling it, because I ended up okay. And I ended up in better places than I thought I would be. Because, you know, I lived in a small town too, in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, right outside of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Pembroke, Kentucky is where I lived. And it was farm town. It was good old USA, you know, as you hear, you know, Jason Aldean talk about. And it's just, you know, so I don't know. I just think that that kids can learn from somebody. And, you know, another thing too, they'll listen to me before they will their parents. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Right.
It's like listening to other people than they do their parents. And it's just, my kids did the same thing. You know, it's, you know, mom and dad didn't know anything about anything, you know, that you let somebody else tell them, and it's like the truth, you know, so. But that's okay, as long as you're getting told the truth and getting told the right things.
Right. You know, and I think it's important too, because, you know, sometimes you have to remind kids that there's things that you do and you say that you can't take back. Yeah. Words really hurt people, man. Right. And you're right. There are things that you say out there and do that you can't take back. And that's what I want to stop before it happens. I don't want that. I don't want some kids, even though they're bullies or whatever, I don't want them to get into a situation where there's no turning back. And then we lose them to society. And that's not fair. It's not fair to them. Right. It's not fair to anybody. So but again, we can only do so much. And we can only say so much. So parents have to be stepped up and help out in this and everything else. And I've had people write me on Facebook and tell me, hey, you was at my kid's class today. I don't know who you are, but thank you, because my kid came home
and acted really different when after they heard you talk. So that makes me feel good.
Right. And it's good to be able to reach these kids and share that kind of message with them.
Absolutely.
I think it's what our society lacks. We got to be more invested in our kids. I just got to doing an interview earlier with a program called Project Rescue that goes in and rescues kids from the sex slave, the human trafficking. And, they were talking about the most vulnerable kids, low income, and the kids that don't fit in, and those are the ones that need somebody to come in like you and, and people from the church or whoever to reach into these kids' lives and be able to talk to them,
Sure.
So
I agree with you 100%.
So, that's one of the things that, when we talked last time, I was extremely impressed about, that you're able to use your platform to go in there and just talk to these kids. And you're right. It sometimes it takes something as shocking as somebody coming in with the Jason mask to get their attention, But I think it's cool that you're using your platform, that your character and your ability to be able to go into the schools and talk to the kids.
Yeah, I love it. And it's changed my life as well as theirs, because kids are a weakness for me. I mean, they really are. And to see the vulnerability in a child's face, knowing that you've got a chance to do something good for that child or do something good for those kids, it makes me feel accomplished way more than being on screen. I mean, it does. I mean, that's just part of my job, and I love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But at the same time, I think I got a higher purpose when it comes to doing what I do.
Right. So, and that's, like I said, that's cool that you get the chance to go in there and do that. One of the other thing I was wanted to talk to you about is I had Will Reed on. Yeah. So we talked to Will, and then we did the review on the Batman movie, which at the end of the second Batman movie, I noticed a specific character.
Yeah.
Up to the third Batman movie.
Yeah. There is a specific character in there that comes to light, and you see that it's Deathstroke, and everybody knows who Deathstroke is from the Batman movies and all that stuff and all that. So, but yes, that was me, and I got to play that. Yeah, and that's going to be pretty cool. I love Will. Will's a great guy. Good writer, good editor. I mean, he really is. And I'll praise him. He did an amazing job on Voorhees, Night of the Beast, both acting and editing that film. So give all the props to him as far as that goes. He stepped in when we needed him the most and got it done for us, and it looks amazing. I mean, I think everybody can verify that his work speaks for itself when it comes to Voorhees, Night of the Beast.
Yeah, well, and he's such a young guy, and he's so talented for his age.
That's the thing, man. These young kids nowadays, they grow up with these computers, and he was editing different things while he was on set. That he was doing this slap fighting thing that to me is just the most outrageous, stupidest thing in the world. I would never stand there and let a man just smack me in the face, but he did it, and it was crazy. I mean, he spent some crazy hours on that computer editing and all that stuff. And then when our editor went down from a medical emergency, he stepped up, and Jason asked him if he would do it, and oh my God. I mean, it was just the first couple of, I was producer on that film too. And the first couple of edits that he did, Jason sent to me, and it was like, wow, dude, this is really good. Like, he did this in that quick of time, and it's like, yeah, Jason was really happy with it. I was very happy with it. So it's like he did a fantastic job with that.
And I told him too when I was looking at some of his earlier work, just the progression from the first Batman movie to the second one, I can imagine what he's going to do with the third one. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping it's really good, because I'm trying to stay in the gym because I want to do the character justice. I'll tell you that.
Right.
So, and the outfit that he's got me in is kind of revealing. So I want to make sure that, the arms and stuff look pretty good, but it's just, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm looking forward. And there's some other projects that I've got out there with Charlie and with Jason and stuff like that that's coming out that's going to be really good too. Independent film, man, it's amazing. It's people. It's kind of like going from college ball to NFL. I mean, it kind of is, because you got the independent, which is college ball, that you're doing it because you love it and because you want to make the best product you can. And I'm not. I hate saying that, because NFL players, they worth it. Worth every penny. I don't know if I should say that. They're the best of the best. So, but when it comes down to it, college players, they're playing it because they're not getting paid. They're playing it because they love the game. Well, I feel like independent film is something like that. And I wish people would back independent film just a little bit more and realize that independent film, there's some really, really good actors. There's some really, really good writers, really good directors. And it's like a lot of stuff that you see on Netflix and all these streaming networks, it's independent film. And people don't understand that a lot. They look at a movie that's on TV or in theaters and they go, oh, it's a SAG film, or it's a big, product. It's not. It's not. A lot of this stuff that's on streaming is independent stuff. And it's like, there's some really good writers and directors and actors and stuff like that are not SAG, that are doing it because they love it. They're not getting paid millions of dollars. They're getting paid, sometimes not getting paid at all. And it's like they're making very, very good products. And that's the people that I think I wish people would get behind independent film just a little bit more and support. When they see an Indiegogo, give whatever you can give. And I understand this economy nowadays, it's rough. It's rough to give money to something like that. But if you really love it and you want to see it strive, any little bit helps when it comes to these independent films.
Right. When you're saying that, one of the things I talk a lot about is after the pandemic, that we had a lot of independent films come out, since the pandemic. Sure. And we've had a lot of equipment and technology that's made it easier to do, independent films. And one of the things I really enjoy about independent films is I think that because they don't have the big production companies, backing them, that they seem to be more creative. They have more creative license, and the storylines are more creative. To me, nothing against Hollywood, but Hollywood likes to regurgitate the same thing. Sure. If something's selling, if there's a type of movie they're selling, they want to crank that movie out, as many times as they can. But like for independent films, you get to see just a broad scope of different films that come out that are unique storylines. And like you're saying, one of the films that I've been promoting lately is Across the Sky. Steve Moon and Ginger Crossman are working on, and they're doing it, pretty much with no budget. They're trying to make this movie with absolutely no budget. They have an Indiegogo that's out there, but and then Friday have Heather Fraley on, and Heather Fraley just did a movie called Hinder, which is sort of a Mad Max type movie, and and she did it as an independent, and it looks good. Yeah.
So that's a lot of good independent films out there that looks really good. And Voorhees Night of the Beast is one of them.
Right. That's another one.
Shot with really good cameras, but the editing had a lot to do with it, which Will did an amazing job with the coloring and all that stuff. But people don't understand. There's so much more behind the scenes with like hair and makeup, with wardrobe, with FX. Oh my goodness. Oh, Charlotte Tempest. You know, the girl
Right.
the woman that made my suit and my mask and all that.
Right.
That if you look at her work, and I wish people would go to her page and look at her work. She is as good as any FX artist in Hollywood. I'm telling you, she is amazing, and she does an amazing job and amazing work. The actors that we got on these films and independent and from Batman to Voorhees Night of the Beast, and the actors that we get are top notch. In my opinion, they're top notch.
Right.
And you know, and that's what we make each other better when we're on screen. You know, it's when you love something so much and you go out there and you give your all, you're going to make a good product. It's the people that have the big budgets and stuff like that just feel like, you know, we'll just do it this way, do it that way. But it's the people that has the smaller budgets that go, okay, we got to save on this and this, so let's make it as good as we possibly can to show these people that we're well worth giving $5 or $10 to the Indiegogo campaign for the next film.
Right.
And sometimes that's what it takes. It takes making a good film to show people, okay, you know, they're not just throwing stuff out there. They are actually making a good product. And I think that helps us a little bit when you do make a good product. You can't just throw something out and expect people to say, okay, yeah, I'll give to the next one. Well, if it's not a good product, they're not going to give. You know, if you go to Walmart and you buy something and it's terrible, well, you're not going to go back to Walmart and buy it again. I mean, you're just not going to.
Right.
You're going to put your money where the best quality of stuff is, from food to movies to anything and everything. So, and that's the way I look at it.
You know, and you're right. And right now, I think is the perfect time with the strike in Hollywood, with the writers and the actors. This is a perfect time for independent films to come out.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, yeah, it's opening doors right now that independent film can walk right into, pretty much, I think.
Right.
You know, now, as far as the strike goes, 100% behind them. I mean, I really am. I mean, they need to get, you know, this is about residuals. This is about the AI stuff, you know, the artificial intelligence and all that stuff. That's not fair to the actors that have worked their tails off all these years to become the good actors that they are. You know, it's not fair that you can just put somebody's face on screen and they're not even there. It's not, you know. I thought the other day on the news, this woman had an interview with a newscaster, and it wasn't even her. I mean, it wasn't she never has met this newscaster, but they put her face up there, you know, and it's like, wow. And it looked just like her. I mean, she was talking it looked and sounded just like her. Well, but yeah, so I do stand behind the SAG actors that are on strike right now, because they are fighting for something that needs to be redone and made better for the actor, because I don't think they're fighting for more money. It's not. And people think, oh, you know, they're actors, they're just out there strike wanting more money. It's not. It's fair. They're wanting to be treated fairly. And right now, I don't think they are. So,
you know, and you brought up a good point with the whole AI. You know, as a consumer, as somebody who's, you know, watching the shows, I really don't want to see somebody's image. If I want to see a movie with James Stokes in it, I want to see a movie with James Stokes. I don't want to see a CI version of James Stokes.
No, and trust me, James Stokes don't want an AI version of himself either. I want to be on set doing that myself. I don't want to be made into that. I mean, and any actor would tell you that, I'm sure. They don't want that. You know, and plus, they're not getting residuals for it. They're not getting paid for it. It's like, that's not fair.
Yeah, it's a cheap way of getting out of paying the actors. You know, and with the AI, you know, chatbots, you know, writing the scripts. You know, they're bypassing everything that makes a movie.
Sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
You know, and to me, I as a consumer, I can't get behind that for a production company. I can't get behind that, because, you know, I know guys like you know, Michael McGlone, who is out there, you know, some of the, you know, the other, you know, actors in Hollywood. And so I know what they're fighting for, you know, and I think it's unfair for a company to come in and be able to own somebody's image and be able to use their image without compensating, the person that they're taking that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's wrong. And I hope that everything comes out for the actors, and I hope that they get what they're asking for. And,
Right.
Fran Drescher, she is doing an excellent, amazing job being the leader of SAG and all that. And I just, or, for the Screen Actor Guild and all the actors, I think she's doing an amazing job. And I just want all of them to know that I'm standing behind them. It's not affecting me as much as it is them, and
Right.
I just want them to know that I would stand behind them in a heartbeat. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right.
So yeah, and there's so much to it too. You got the actors, the writers, the whole content creators, the streaming, services.
Yeah.
The thing is that the whole process is changing. It's evolving.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the typical, the whole idea of watching, a particular show on a particular day at a particular time, that's all going away. Now that you have streaming services and everybody can binge watch. So I'm thinking that the way it's probably going to end up is you're going to have, because there's so many streaming services now, they're going to have to condense the streaming services. So I'm guessing you probably have about maybe 5 or 10, services that are going to own all the other services.
Yeah. And I'm not going to. I'm one of these guys that wait to see what happens. I'm not speculate. I'm not going to speculate what's going to happen because I have no idea what's going to happen, and I'm not going to put something out there where people can come back on me and say, "Well, he said that." I'm not going to do that. I don't know what's going to happen. All I'm saying is, I think what they're striking for is right, and I think what they're doing is fighting for fairness. And I hope that they get it. I just don't want to speculate what's going to happen with the streaming networks or with anything with theaters or anything else. I just know that they're fighting for something that I think is well worth fighting for.
Right, and I completely agree with that. So let's talk about some of the new projects that you have.
Yeah. I do. Got one coming out. We'll be doing. They'll be doing a premiere for it, I think. Mm-hmm. August or September. It's called Child of Love. I'm in it. Eric Roberts is in it. Ciara Hanna's in it. She was the Yellow Power Ranger. It's going to be good. It was based off a true story about a mother with a Down syndrome child that started a school for the Down syndrome kids in Florida, and I think it's going to be an absolute must see. I think it's done really well. The production company that did it is absolutely amazing. And so I think that's going to be a really good movie. And then another one with me and Eric and Vincent Ward and Ciara Hanna and several more is called The Great White Throne Judgment, based off of Revelations 21. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it's a full-fledged Christian movie. It's not. It's about a bunch of bikers that some of them are trying to do good, some of them are not trying to do so good. And when they die, they go in front of God and they get banished to either heaven or hell. Right. And I think that it's going to be a movie that's going to touch some people's lives. And so these two movies are totally different from the horror films that I've been doing, which is great. And I do play one of the bikers in it. And I'm not going to tell you what happens in it, of course. I don't want to ruin anything before it comes out. But it is got John Dugan in it, that he plays God. And he's the grandfather in all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Right. So for people that don't know who John is. But it's got some really good characters. It's got some really good actors in it. And it's done again by the production company that I think is doing an absolutely tremendous job, Bright Morning Star Films. They have good directors. They have good writers. They have excellent staffing. And I think that it's just going to be two good movies that are coming out pretty soon. and I think you'll see more from Bright Morning Star Films Productions. So
cool. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot from them lately on Facebook.
yeah,
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So now when these movies come out, do they have an idea where they're going to be streaming or what platform?
I don't want to say right now. I think they're in talks with different platforms,
Right.
From streaming to theaters and everything else. So I don't know exactly. So I don't want to say. But yeah, because I don't want to say anything wrong and it be wrong. I don't want to say that. So I just know that they're putting out really good stuff, and I think that it's going to reach a lot of people. I can put it that way. I think it'll reach a lot of people, and I think people will be very, very pleased with what kind of product we put out with them.
So what we'll do is, when that time comes, when they're ready to release it, then we can share that information so people could.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be sharing it. Yeah. Of course, you'll have it to where you can share it. Oh, yeah. I want it to be shared out there with everybody, because I think everybody needs to see both of these films. I think that it's going to be, one of them's going to be really heartfelt, touching, and the other one's going to kind of hit home with where
right.
Everybody has that in their mind, heaven or hell. It's just, so I think it's a good movie to watch and to kind of maybe make you think a little bit.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we need movies like that too, that could start a conversation.
Sure. Absolutely.
Those type of movies. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
And Vincent Ward plays a really good character in it. That I think that Vincent was in The Walking Dead. He's
right.
Big character anyway in itself. So the character that he plays in this movie, I think, is people are going to connect with. And Ciara does a fantastic job, as she always does. So yeah, it's John Dugan. Of course, he brings the best every time he comes on screen. So he's an amazing character in himself. So yeah, I think people are going to really like it.
That's awesome. So what's next on the agenda? What do you got?
Got a lot of things. Well, I'm doing a lot of personal appearances right now. September, I'll be going out to Denver with John. Actually, me and him are going to be flying out here in Nashville, going out to Denver to the Denver Horror Festival, Colorado Horror Festival, which is an amazing con. Brett does an amazing job with that. So I'm looking forward to going out there. It's always a great time. They put on a very, very good show. Got some other things lined up with some other personal appearances in Atlanta, in Athens, Georgia. Some things with some haunted houses coming up in October. Personal appearances at some haunted houses and some comic book stores. So I'm looking forward to that. That's always fun. You get to go out.
That makes a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's so much fun, because they announce it and they have people waiting, and it's just amazing, to go to these things. As far as movie-wise goes, got some other things that are in the works. Haven't gotten some scripts on some movies and stuff that I've been reading and stuff. So I've got some other things coming up that's going to be, I think, that are going to be pretty well known, before when they get out. So yeah, I got some things coming up. People can always go to my IMDb page and check that out. Everything once it's on IMDb, then I can announce it and all that stuff. So I do got a movie coming up with Bishop Stevens. I think you know who Bishop is.
Yeah. I was going to say I interviewed Bishop not too long ago.
I know, and I love Bishop. Bishop is, to me, when I first met Bishop Stevens, he became a mentor to me, because I wasn't in the movie business very long when I got to meet Bishop, and to be on set with him and to see him work and stuff, he really inspired me to change the way that I was doing some things with the movie business, with the way that I worked out and stuff like that, because I've always been a big guy, but I've never been what I am now as far as the way I look. And he had a big role in that, because I talked to Bishop a whole lot. Me and him during this set of Raiden Valkyrie in Lexington, Kentucky, a long, long time ago. I had a very small part in it, but at the same time, me and him rode together back and forth from the hotel to the set, which is about 45-minute drive. So during that 45-minute drive every day, me and him had some really good conversations. Well, anyway, we became really good friends, and have stayed friends even through all these years. Well, he has put me into a cop role, and I can say this because it's already on IMDb. It's about the first black serial killer in Louisiana, and he's playing that part, and I get to play a cop in it, and I'll be in there with him and John Wells and a lot of other people that has really influenced me in my career, and looking forward to playing that role as a cop in that serial killer movie, because it's going to be. I can always tell you, because anything Bishop does is well. John Wells, same way. Anything that them guys do, it's done very well. And so I'm looking forward to actually being on set with them and getting to actually act with these guys. It's going to be an honor to be there and to be with, just be in the same presence as these guys, because they're somebody I look up to, and they always have been, and all that stuff. Because John Wells is an amazing character actor himself, and just look forward to being on set with these guys.
Yeah, when I talked to Bishop about that, Bishop was so excited about that movie. Yeah,
Bishop is excited about everything that man does. He's excited. He is an exciting character. I mean, when he walks on set, it's like, Bishop Stevens is here. And I mean, he lets everybody know that he is on set. And he is an amazing character, and I love him to death. I look at him as my brother, and would do anything in the world for him. So, and he knows that. So not afraid to say that. So and he's given me some compliments himself. So, as far as the way that I've changed my body and my look and all that stuff, and what I've done as far as being an actor. And I really appreciate that, because I do look at him as one of my mentors as an actor, because he was doing it well before I was.
Right. And that guy is just full of energy.
Of energy. He is a big man. He is a big man, and I wanted to get on his level as far as being a big man. And now that I have, he talks about it all the time. And he said I've changed the way I've done some things, and I have. I really have. It's to be in a gym as much as I am, and to change the way I eat, to change the way that I do things. It's a life-changing experience. And anytime that you go into something, I feel like you need to go 100% at it. And there's no reason to half-ass anything in your life. I don't care if it's from working out or to doing your job or mowing the yard. I mean, I really don't. You don't half-ass anything in your life. And that's just the mentality that I go by every day. I don't half-ass anything. If I'm talking to somebody, I'm giving you my full attention, and I'm going to talk to you, and we're going to become friends. I mean, that's just the way it is. I don't meet a stranger. So it's just like me and you when we first met. We instantly became friends, and we have stayed friends, and we stayed in contact with each other. And time don't always work out for us as what we want to do. But at the same time, we have become friends.
Right.
So,
and when you say that, I appreciate all the sports that you give in our show too. I mean,
absolutely.
That's one of the things I really enjoy too about doing the show is, like I said, the people I get to meet and become friends with doing this show. It's been incredible. All the people. The other thing I noticed too lately is that this world is such a small world. I had no idea that you knew Bishop. And then I was watching. I've been watching Vindication. They actually film it here in Burleson, Texas, about an hour from where I live. So I interviewed Venus Monique, and when I was watching the show, I saw Buddy on the show. Buddy Campbell.
Buddy Campbell.
Yeah, I was like, "Is that Buddy Campbell?" So I go over to my phone, hit Buddy up. I'm like, "Buddy, did I just see you on Vindication?" And then I found out that Olivia is going to be on Vindication season 3.
Oh, really? I didn't know that, and
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's amazing. Yeah, so it's cool.
so yeah. So I was like looking. I'm like, just all the people that know each other. That I mean, it just seems like it's just a small world. Because you guys out in Arkansas had no idea that you guys knew the people in Texas. Well, at least Buddy knew the people here in
Oh
Texas
yeah,
and Olivia.
I got a lot of friends in Texas that I know that's in the business, and they're amazing people, and I love it. Yeah.
So I think it's cool. I think it's cool that what I would like to see too is because I've got the friends out in Florida, like Heather and all of them.
Sure.
The group, your guys' group in Arkansas. All these talented groups. I'd like to see like a crossover movie with
That would
you
be
guys
kind of
all,
cool.
you know what I mean? With all you guys kind of intertwining and getting to meet each other. I would just like to see something like that. But anyways, so what we'll do is we'll put your social media, we'll put that in the detail section. And then as the movies come out and we know exactly where they're going to land, we'll post that information. Of course, I'll have you back on and we'll talk about them.
Sure.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll do a movie review.
That would be perfect. Yeah, we can do it. Let's do it.
So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And again, like I said, I appreciate you, bringing me and all the other actors on to get us out there. And if it wasn't for guys like you, then, a lot of people wouldn't be able to see and hear about our journey and about our life and about what we do as an actor and stuff like that. And I really appreciate you and all the other podcasters out there that give us the time and to let us come on here and do what we do and do what we love.
Cool. Yeah. Well, you're always welcome on the show, man. So anything you need to promote, you just hit me up and we'll get you back on.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Well, thank you, man. Thank you again so much for being on.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Anybody can look me up on Instagram, Stokes.James1414. I'm on Facebook at James Stokes. TikTok, I'm on TikTok. So just follow me on any social media platform. Appreciate IMDb, of course. Go there and you can see all the things that I have coming up, having things that are in post-production. You can go down through there and see all the movies. Appreciate it. I appreciate all the fans, the people that watch and want to know about my projects and stuff like that. I really appreciate every one of you. Y'all are super amazing. And thank you again, Parks, for having me on. And anytime, buddy, I'll be on.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it. So, and then, just for you guys to know, make sure you're following because all these appearances that he's at, if you're in the area, make sure you go out and check him out. Go,
oh, man, please come out and meet me. Yes. And if we're friends on Facebook, because I have a lot of friends on different platforms, introduce yourself. Tell me who you are. If we're friends on Instagram, especially on Instagram, because there's so many people. But please come up to me. And if you're not following me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram. Instagram is one of the platforms that are probably the best, even more so than Facebook, because Facebook, you can only have 5,000 friends. And I'm right there at 5,000 friends all the time. And I don't want to get rid of anybody, but sometimes, you got to go through your friends list and kind of weed out some people that don't get on there anymore and stuff like that because people don't use Facebook like they used to. But Instagram, please, I can have as many followers as we can get. Please, y'all, please follow me. Send me to your friends, have them follow me because the more people I get on Instagram following me, the more I'm going to get out there. And I appreciate that so much.
Awesome. So we're definitely going to put the Instagram handle on there as well.
Yes, Instagram, please. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, brother. Thanks again, man.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Remember, you're uniquely designed with a purpose and always keep moving forward. Peace.
Absolutely. See you.